Smells so nice. Hello everybody and welcome to my August wrap up. You know, once as soon as I pull up my Goodreads on my iPhone so I can see all my exacts. Yeah, I did such a good job in planning this. Oh goodness me. In the month of August I read 19 books, though to be fair, 3 of them were graphic novels and 1 of them was a novella. So unless you really want to count those, it's really not quite 19. A very good reading month. I read a really wide array of books. I have my Goodreads up here because I can't often remember everything that I read a month, so I have to constantly look at it. But I read a really odd array of books in August, ranging from quite a bit of adult fiction, graphic novels, which I mentioned, 2 of which were middle grade. 1 was like a superhero Marvel graphic novel, so I mean really. And then the novella, some poetry. Dear Lord, I read just about everything. As always, here are some covers to show you my personal favourites from the month. In August, I was also able to join up on NetGalley and register as a bookseller and therefore be able to, when allowed, graciously receive some digital ARCs from publishers, and through that I was able to read both The Iron Trial and The Heir of Fire. For me, that was incredible. Those were 2 books I was really highly anticipating, and especially in the case of The Iron Trial, as it's the first book in a new series, I'm very excited to be able to recommend that to people in the store. My favourite little, like, Discover a New Writer award is what I'm going to have to call it for each month, is going to have to go to Sophie Kinsella, which is the pen name of actually Madeleine Wickham. Awesome source points. She spells her name correctly. I'm just saying. And it was because I read I've Got Your Number and because I started Can You Keep a Secret. I have yet to finish it because several other books came up that I was really anticipating and I wanted to read first. So I have to decide, but I'm literally almost done with it and I'm really enjoying it. So I have to say, thumbs up to Sophie Kinsella because I really like that writing. It's my good mind candy chick lit. I've also got a little more into the habit of posting reviews on Goodreads. I used to just sort of put star ratings and not say anything unless I wanted to do a video review, and so I've gotten a little better about actually writing a little blurb when I finish a book, so I'll leave a link to my Goodreads down below in case anybody cares. I also in August did a film review ramble type of thing, which I don't normally do, but for those of you who don't know, I was a film major at university, so film has seeped very deeply into my bones and something that I love, and it was really more of a discussion of saying never be ashamed of liking something that you can objectively say is not very good, because I mean if you enjoy it, then there you go. If you just want to watch me gush about like space pirates for 10 minutes, you can go watch that. So I guess for the first time I'll do sort of a planned TBR. I don't normally do TBRs. As I said, I read a lot of books each month, so I don't like to do TBRs because I often just burn through books, so I don't really know what I'm going to be reading. I'm sorry, I'm fussing with my iPhone. I really should be looking up at the screen, but I'm not. I feel really bad now. But I'll show you what I'm reading currently, or at least some things that I definitely plan on reading this month. First off, I am currently almost done with the audiobook of Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is the first book in his Red Rising trilogy. This is an adult fantasy series. No, not fantasy. It's more of a sci-fi series. It's steeped very deeply in ancient Greek and ancient Roman customs. Not so much mythology, though that does play a small sort of role in it. It's much more ancient Greek and Roman customs. And Pierce Brown pretty much won me over pretty quickly in that he made a reference to The Great Dictator by Charlie Chaplin in the novel, and I caught it and I was like, oh, it's The Great Dictator. For those of you who don't know, The Great Dictator was a film by Charlie Chaplin, probably one of his most famous because it has an amazing speech at the end of it, but it's also just a phenomenal film. It's like a perfect film. I will leave a link to the speech down below because trust me, you've probably heard this speech before. And I think if you know this speech, you find the book Red Rising even more interesting. It also makes a very clear distinction between the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, especially in relation to the mythology. Oh my god, the man sort of won my heart when he did that. If you've watched me long enough, you know that I did a review of Cruel Beauty and I pretty much tore it apart because I had a lot of problems with what she was doing with ancient Greek and Roman mythology and what Rosamund Hodge was trying to do. I was not a fan of how it was executed. I'm a fan of what Pierce Brown is executing in here. And in the end, Red Rising has sort of become like shades of Gladiator meets a bit of Count of Monte Cristo meets a bit of Ender's Game and just a whole lot of other things. It's pretty awesome. So if you have not read Red Rising by Pierce Brown, you need to go and check it out. I'm not even finished with it, and I'm telling you to just go read it. After that, I will be finishing The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. This is his most recent release, literally came out yesterday, Tuesday, September 2nd. And oh my goodness, I'm right about halfway through this. It's amazing. Like, it's amazing. I've been asked to do a review on this, so I will definitely have one for you guys once I finish it, but right now I'm speechless with how good this is. We all know I love David Mitchell, but this is just, it's so good. It's everything I love about David Mitchell. The next book I really want to get to this month is one I've been meaning to read, but just have for some reason never picked up, and I can't explain why. And that is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. As you can see, mine is a strip copy. It's very sad. Its binding is cracking here and it doesn't have a cover because it was one of overstock at the store, or it was damaged, I don't know which, and so it got stripped. When I saw that this was in the strip pile, I immediately grabbed it because I've heard nothing but amazing things about the Scorpio Races, and I love her Raven cycle, so I said, gotta get the Scorpio Races. So I do want to get to this. It's not very long, so hopefully it shouldn't take me long to read. Next, I'm going to be reading a book that was picked out for me, and that is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. I didn't even know this was a book. I know the film with Daniel Day-Lewis, but I never knew it was a book. I kind of feel like an idiot. I should have known this was a book. Next is an ARC that I won off of Goodreads, and it is a behemoth. And the scary thing about this book is it's the third book in a trilogy, and I don't remember the first two books, or at least the second book, all that well. And they are also behemoths, and that is Edge of Eternity by Ken Follett, the third book in his Century trilogy. The first book was Fall of Giants, the second was Winter of the World, and this series is sort of like Downton Abbey before Downton Abbey for like a part of it. It's about how all these like 6 different families in different parts of the world all intertwine from like 1900 now to like 2008, I want to say I heard was the ending of this book. It's huge. It's literally 1099 pages. The other 2 books are just as long, and as I just said, I don't really remember them all that well. So I have to go and reread them. And this book comes out on September 16th. And I really want to finish it before then and get a review up. And by review, I mean I'm going to write a Goodreads one. I don't think I could do a video review on this. It'd be so long and convoluted. It would take me forever to even get close to explaining what happens in these books. Oh goodness, I have my work cut out for me. This is going to take me a long time to read. Oh boy. After all those books, I do have a whole bunch of books on my TBR, and my little TBR pile is significantly smaller as I recently gave away a whole bunch of books. I donated them, I gave them to friends, and I might have a few books I might redonate out. But the only other book I definitely plan on reading without question is The Island of Excess Love by Francesca Lia Bloch. I listed this as one of the books that was coming out that I was basically super excited for, and my copy just arrived at the store. I missed the phone call, and so I found out, but I'm going in tomorrow, so I'll be getting it then, because I work and then I have to pick up some other things. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I need to show you guys. So if you didn't know, eBay is one of my small addictions when it comes to finding books that are a little hard to find and at reasonably good prices, and also one of my favourite classics in the history of classics is The Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Hawksey. There is a group known as the Folio Society that makes these really beautiful slip-cased hardcover versions of classics, and they have a version of The Scarlet Pimpernel, and my copy is a little mass market that is so battered, if I were to lay it down on certain pages it would just lie flat. It's just so battered. I've destroyed the poor thing. So when I saw that this hardcover was like $10 from someone on eBay, they're like, oh, it's just not shrink wrapped. Other than that, it's in like near perfect condition. And I was like, I will buy that from you right now. Right now. And so I need to show you guys. It's just so beautiful. It's got a pretty spine and it goes vertical, because I don't remember. The story of the Scarlet Pimpernel takes place in Revolutionary era France. So French Revolution France, not American Revolution. So we're talking the Reign of Terror. This is the time of when all the aristos were losing their heads to Madame Guillotine. And it's the story of a mysterious Englishman known as the Scarlet Pimpernel and his little league of the Pimpernel, who go in and are able, through a whole series of really clever disguises and deceptions and all sorts of basically cat and mouse games, to rescue aristos from the guillotine and whisk them away to England for asylum, because obviously England and France hate each other. What else is new? And there is a French agent by the name of Chauvelin who is sent over to England to discover who the Pimpernel is. And so it's basically a massive game of cat and mouse, and it also has an amazing female protagonist, and that is Lady Marguerite Blakeney. She is a French woman who married an English aristocrat, and so she kind of straddles both sides, and she has divided loyalties, and it is just such good fun. I love this book. It's one of my favourites. I've read several of the sequels that Baroness Orczy wrote, and so to have a really beautiful hardcover like this, it's beautiful, and I'm so happy to have it. But yes, that is it for me tonight. I think this has definitely gone on long enough, and I expect the next thing you will see from me will probably be a review of either The Bone Clocks or Red Rising, depending on which one I get done with first. So that's it for me tonight, guys. Until next time, cheers.